Right, back around at the boat. Beautiful day today, Sunday. The long weekend, King's birthday on Monday, which was a nice surprise, so I didn't realise it was coming up. Just been down and taken the crappy old rotten mattress out, so I'm puffing a little bit. It was a bit of a carry back to the car, and while it was only foam, it was quite heavy, so the next job is to gonna get in here and unscrew those plywood extensions that are down there. To be honest, I don't particularly need a double bed down here, and it really just clutters up, makes it difficult getting up and down. I hope they're going to have the guy from the marine place come out and have a look. They've finally caught up with their work, so I got a message from them to say that he'd come and have a look at the boat. So yeah, let's make it a bit easier for him to get in and out of the thing and get underneath, have a look at the engine room and the gearbox. Those sheets of ply need to come out. Plus, I can actually use them elsewhere on the boat. So let's have a look here. The tools and everything. It is quite tight with these rather crudely manufactured extensions. Got the boat open as well and earring. So we'll get in here and we'll take these out. Right, that's those. Get some timber up and put those away. Fishing gear back there. I'm going to throw that timber that's come off out of here into the forward hold. Keep it out of the weather, and I'll use it progressively around the boat. An interesting thing I've just learnt is that someone's insulated in here some polystyrene under this wooden floor, which would sort of explain why there's been a bit of fiberglassing going on down here. Someone's tried to make it a bit nicer. Here we have our tripless gland and everything down there. No water in there, which is nice to see. Bone dry. Right, I think I might just go and get the drill, take the centre board here out and have a look and see what's underneath here as well. God bless these wee powders. How on earth we used to get on without them. Something I've been meaning to do is have a look under here for quite some time, but I've always had the mattress in the way, and it's just been a little bit awkward to do. So, planning on actually getting into this a little bit more. Just left that one in there to lift it up. Lots of dry sealant and all sorts of things on there. How long it's been since that's been open, but it's interesting. It's all solid. It's all dry in there. It's all part of the stern, or sort of keel. Anyway, it's a big chunk of wood in there. Gruggy. It's an impressive piece of timber. Someone's lined in there as well. I wonder whether this was potentially where the fish might have gone in its day when Jim Fishburne and the family were using it for fishing out in the straits. This aft cabin wasn't here. It was effectively just the wheelhouse, and I'm sort of picking that this may be part of the original well, I suppose holding area for fish. possibly why it's been sort of semi-insulated underneath the fiberglass there. And in here is potentially where the boxes with the fish or fish may have gone into as they cleared the lines or the pots or the nets. I'm not exactly sure how they fished. But yeah, but that's good to see. It's nice and dry in there, and certainly part of the stuff here certainly looks like the original framing for a floor and that in here. So they've built this little bed area. Somebody's built this little bed area to match what was already there. So potentially this is where boxes of fish might have been stacked. Right, got a bit of light in here now. I'm going to have to rewrap the exhaust as well, clean up a bit down here. It's a bit grubby. I brought the vacuum cleaner down and have a bit of a clean up in the boat, because I don't really expect someone else to come down here and grovel around in, 60 years of rubbish. Worked out the exhaust leak is not from the new exhaust. Seems to be coming from the dry stack. There's an end of the dry stack, and the cover on the dry stack is a larger piece of pipe that sits just with it over the top of a smaller diameter pipe that seems to be flopping around inside. And I think what's happening is when I sealed up the top of the dry stack to stop water coming inside it every time it rained, it's pressurising, it's filling the dry stack up with exhaust and is coming in through the bottom of the dry stack area into the engine room until things warm up. So it's another job. I want to take the top off that. I want to have a look if I can see exactly what's going on inside the dry stack with that pipe, because like I said, it shouldn't be leaking. It may be that I'll have to unscrew and get the dry stack off and put a complete new piece of exhaust in up there. Work that one out as I go. But first and foremost, what I'm going to do is have a little bit of clean up down here, rewrap the exhaust. And yeah, a bit of a. So this is what we've got down here. So obviously a gearbox, the forward reverse gearbox in here. Now I'm sort of hoping that these bolts and everything will give ample access into it for when they have a look at the to see what the story is. Apparently it's making metal. I know that the oil certainly needs to be changed. The oil is not particularly that flash. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, I'm having difficulty seeing it. Effectively, it's there's got a bit of water in there and it needs to be changed anyway, so I'm hoping it's not going to be too big a job and that the job can be done inside the boat, because that's a big chunk of steel in there. And I'm hoping it's and I think what's possibly happened, I think whether the water's got into this part or the other part, I don't know. But I think when it was sitting on its mooring and it was taking a bit of water through the garboard seam, potentially it's a bit of water's got in there somewhere, somehow. So, or it's just simply age and condensation. So I'm hoping it's not going to be too huge a job. I don't really want to have to take the boat out of the water and have it sitting on the hard stand for weeks on end. Certainly can't afford that. The same issues with getting it out of the boat is going to exist whether it's on the hard stand or not, other than onto the marina. It's probably a bit easier to lift it onto the boat to a pontoon as opposed to dropping it 3 metres onto the ground. So anyway, so that's the other job today. Rewrap that. Have a good clean up, vacuum down there, so hopefully it's not too scungy for the guys when they come to have another look. The other job they need to do is they're going to be replacing all the hoses and hose clips. They're not looking the best. They're well due for a replacement. I've got a problem with the header tank, the rotten frost plug in it. I've emailed an outfit in Auckland that specialises in reconditioning gardeners and gardener parts to see if I can get a new radiator cap for it. And yeah, we'll take it from there. So I'm sort of expecting I'm going to have quite a significant bill over the next couple of months. But unfortunately, when you're into it, as far as we are, we don't really have much choice. It's no good having a boat sitting in a marina that you can't use. So it really needs to be sorted so that we can actually use it. Anyway, but I'll pop it on the other side. I'm going to put that dipstick back in. Hopefully you can see a little bit better of what's going on inside that oil. Right, you can sort of see there, that's where that frost plug problem is, just in behind there. I don't think it's going to be a difficult fix, but what happens is when it gets filled up to a certain level, obviously the antifreeze net leaks out, runs down the motor. Apparently this heat exchanger here needs to be serviced. I'm a little bit unsure as to what the story is with it, where it all goes. Like I said, she is keel cooled. I'm not sure if there's raw water cooling anywhere. No doubt it's all going to become a little bit clearer to me as time marches on. These are the fuel filters. They've been changed since 2013. How long they've been there, is anybody's guess. Air filter up in there, not the ideal place for an air filter. It really should be getting fresh air around it. Fuel filters. But yeah, so it's another oil filter there of some description. So anyway, so there's this one here. Oops, better wipe that off. I don't want to put rubbish into the oil in there. Oops. Lost the see it. No, it's not there. Right, sorry about that. Not a lot of room down here really, and so it is all original Gardner gearboxes and things here. If anybody knows much about these, sing out and let me know. But the oil certainly there's moisture in that oil. There's the other. Certainly some water in there as well. So I would dare say that she's well overdue for oil changes. Heaven knows when it was last done. That all looks good, well that's due for a change as well. So yeah, so here's the, I'll just get that light so hopefully you can see a bit better, because all inspection plates and everything there. I do want to actually sort of clean it all down a little bit so that there's not so much crap being knocked around. Certainly been well overdue. I've been spraying a bit of CRC around down here, which is probably what you can see, a little bit of moisture on there, on nuts and bolts, just to try to make sure that things are a little bit freer and easier when they do need to come down and have a look. So that's the drama. It needs to be looked at. Desperate need of an oil change. Potentially it's making metal. I don't know what's the cause of that, whether it's a bearing or teeth or what. I'm not too optimistic around it being a simple fix. These things never are. And a bit of a nuisance. So, and there was our I've got to rewrap all of that, as I pulled it off again to try to work out where a bit of exhaust was coming in. That was a new muffler and everything we put on just recently. Right, all rewrapped and the blanket put back on. Easier said than done. I'm going to have to get a little bit more wrapping just for up there, the bottom of the dry stack. We just like to keep it the heat away from there if all possible. But you can sort of see in here where the waters that's coming in through the rot on the side are running in through the cabin, the cupboard. Along the edge of the cupboard there is dripping down into here. So this is the side up in here. There's rot on the outside plywood, and it's all coming down and through into the engine room here. So it's another job that's going to need to be done in the near future. And, get the tops of these tanks sort of cleaned up as well, which is going to be a bit of a tough job. So rewrapped. Now I'm going to have a bit of a clean up down here as much as I can. Down here with the vacuum cleaner, a bit of old hose. I've just pulled this container of God knows what out of there. I'd presume it's probably oil. It's probably waste oil. I'm going to guess. Oh no, it could be. Don't know. It could be good oil. I'll have a look at that later on. I'll get like muck and everything cleaned off it. If it's good oil, I don't really want to be wasting it. Right. Next step: half brush and shovel, and bag for rubbish. Now, new issue. Nice and clean down here now. Well, as clean as it can be. So much nicer. But I have an issue with the bilge pump. It's not working. It's dead as a dodo. It's under 12 months old. I'm not particularly very impressed by it. Now I'm going to have to sort that issue out. I can't have it sitting here without a bilge pump, operating bilge pump in it. Right, new problem. Bilge pump's not working. Can't get it to work. Don't quite know what's going on with it. I pulled it out, shaking it around. It's just not doing anything. I think it's dead. It's a bit of annoying. It's only about a year old. It wasn't a cheap bilge pump. Pretty typical. Right. So I can't really have a boat sitting without a bilge pump in it. Without a bilge pump. The cheapest way to sort it is to go down and purchase another bilge pump. Let's try and install it and make sure that everything's sort of the power and everything's getting to the wiring down below. I've had a look behind there and there's no fuses blown or anything that I can see. So, yep, just fun and games. So I shall go down and try and fit that. Right, no wind today, but quite a lot of rain. Just down with the grandkids, checking the boat and picking up the grandson's little fishing rod off it. And the reality is that they'll do something. They're getting cooped up at home like caged lions. So down anyway, no wind, beautiful though, all the same. They come down, just had to race back and get the key for the boat. I brought my uncle and auntie down last night to have a look at it in the dark, and unfortunately pocketed the key, took it home with me. So I left the kids out here. They managed to get in and out of the rain, and now back with the key for the boat. And there they are there, hiding aboard inside. Genghis Khan. And who else can we see in there? Two little children.
You can try and go fishing in the next couple of days, okay?
There you go. Don't you fall down there. Don't you fall down there. You stay up here. Oh, Jingos, look at you. Where are you going now? You're going to fall down there. Watch out, Dad. Yeah. Here she comes. Come and help her so she doesn't end up toppling down those steps. For some reason she wants the hats. Oh, what have you got? You got your fishing rod? You going to take it with you?
Yes.
You are?
When I'm ready to fishing.
No.
What's the difference?
What, Dad's got some sabikis? Yeah. Oh, your fishing rod, isn't it? Are you going to take it home with you as well?
No.
No, you're going to leave it here on the boat. No. You're going to take it home or leave it here on the boat, Valak? What are you stealing? So, Shenna, did you steal those out of my tackle box? Oh, crikey. Shall I put them back? Oh, watch out, fellas. I just about got an eye. She'd have just about got some really good footage there.
Yeah, Isla.
Why, Jingo's you two are trouble. 3 are bloody trouble, like your father.
Go ring ring. You're alright. Go ring ring. Go. You Micah ring ring? Isla's turn. Yeah.
Yeah, g'day. Hopefully you enjoyed that little bit of footage. I'm hoping in the very near future to get a little bit better at recording and getting a little bit more fluid with everything that's happening and get a little bit more interesting bits and pieces loaded up and uploaded. But as you can see, I had a good day on the boat cleaning. It's certainly a lot cleaner and tidier and felt a lot nicer, and it was quite nice that Sam from Seafarer Marine could get down in there and not get covered in crap. It was a little bit cleaner for him. Good news on that front is that he's had a look. He doesn't believe that the gearbox and transmission is making metal. He noted that while it needs a good birthday, it needs an oil change. It's a lighter grade or a different grade of oil than what is in the main motor, obviously. And his idea is that we're just going to give it a good flush out, a service, a birthday, new oil, and we'll monitor it moving forward. There's a couple of big ticket items though in saying that. He's going to look at degreasing the area and pumping everything out. He didn't believe that the bilge was that oily, which was good, although he did manage to drop his keys into it. So he had to dish around in his hand a little bit of bilge water that was there to find his keys. I know it's not particularly very pleasant, because no matter how clean your bilge is, the water in there is normally a little bit oily. The couple of big ticket items here, he needs to suggest we need to replace the heat exchanger for the keel cooling system. The one that's on there is pretty much shot. It's been specifically built for that engine. The fuel filters and fuel filter casings need to be replaced. He doesn't want to try to reuse them. The last time these were touched was 2015. While the boat hasn't been used much at all since then, he doesn't want to muck around with something that's potentially going to cause a problem. So suggested that these need to be replaced with a new set of Raycor fuel filters. I believe that also gives the ability to remove any water or monitor any water and gunk that's getting in there and drain that off if that is a problem. Hoses, hose clamps, things like that need to be replaced. There is a problem, well not a problem, but there's some gear still attached to the engine for filters, oil filters and cooling systems for when the boat sported a lot of equipment for winches and such like when she was a commercial vessel. As the boat's never going to be reused for that purpose, he suggested we remove those and hook things up with a simple pipe, rather than service and replace filters and do all of that and potentially have yet another technical or complex thing that's likely to go wrong in it or need further servicing or cost further money, which is a good idea. I agree with that wholeheartedly. So in total, we're probably looking about $2.5 grand for the heat exchanger, as the parts have to be bought, has to be built. Be $800 for the Raycor fuel filter. However, that will last the boat probably however long that I have it, particularly if it's going to be regularly maintained. Other costs and things that may crop up, we'll just take that as it comes. It's not ideal, but unfortunately that's what you're into when you buy an older boat. They're not perfect, well even a newer boat for that matter, no matter what you do, there's always something that needs to be fixed, repaired, replaced, serviced. There's always costs. That's what you do if you own a boat. If you can't deal with it, you don't own a boat, bottom line. And I knew what I was getting into when we bought the boat. It's an older boat. However, once we know the engine is fine, we can get more use out of it. I've been a bit reluctant to use a boat until I know that all of that has been sorted out. I'm looking forward to using the boat, particularly with the family, and getting out and about and doing some overnighters and journeys and things like that around the Sounds, and a bit of exploring, which will be great fun, which is why we originally decided to buy the boat. A lot of the stuff that needs to be done to her top sides, the hull rings like a bell, which is great. I know that. I had all that survey done, or that inspection done by Philip Carey, who was actually on the original build for the boat when it was built at his father and uncle's yard here in Picton. The top sides need a bit of love. I can do that myself. It's a job that I can do, work my way around and deal with, and replacing bits and sorting out any issues and problems. So I enjoy that sort of thing. One thing that was suggested was whether or not we can get the floorboards up in the wheelhouse to provide a bit more room. They can get in there and stand up rather than be on their hands and knees in the engine room. They're going to degrease. Sam's talking about degreasing the engine and cleaning all of that down, sucking any oily water out, which will mean moving forward everything will be a lot cleaner down there. Any problems that arise will be more quickly identifiable, and things will just feel a little bit nicer, particularly if I can get in there and do a little bit of scrubbing as well. The wiring, I intend to run some new wiring into the engine room to mount 2 spotlights either side in there that you can turn on and off down there, and on and off from a master switch. So I'm going to need to install new switches, new power supplies. I'll be using marine wiring for that. Simply being able to get in there to work on it and having plenty of light will be a huge advantage. Particularly LED stuff has low draw off the batteries, and I've got other wiring down there to tidy up that's hanging sort of loose, which is not ideal. You get vibration and movement, and it needs to be tied up and properly sorted out, so that you're not going to run into an issue or a short or poor connections. The same thing with moving forward with the forward and aft cabins, and even the wheelhouse. Lighting needs to be replaced. I'm going to be replacing that with LED lighting. I'll be running new wiring. As I do that, I'll be sorting out what wiring is currently there, what wiring will become redundant. I'll be using marine wire and marine electrical parts to ensure that moving forward for the rest of the time that we own the boat, it is not going to cause us a problem, and any future owner will be able to have a look either at a wiring diagram and or labelled wiring and know what they're looking at, rather than what I look at the moment. The wiring's good, don't get me wrong, but it would have been useful if it had been been labelled so that I knew what was what. And some of it has been wires cut moving forward and aft for lighting, and it's even a little bit difficult to work out where stuff runs to and whether some of it's even hot. So I've got to spend a day in there testing and probably removing. So anyway, grandkids had a ball. I had a ball. You can see that they crawled through the boat. Absolutely two little bilge rats. I lovingly call them bilge rats number 2 and bilge rats number 4. Bilge rats number 1 and bilge rats number 3. Sorry, bilge rats number 2. Sorry, 3. Bilge rats number 3 are across the ditch there in the North Island. I'm looking forward to seeing them the Matariki weekend. Going to pop across on the ferry and catch up with them. But they love the boat as well. So looking forward to getting everything squared away, tidied up, and the boat underway, coming into the next spring and summer so that we can spend some time as a family exploring, swimming, fishing, walking tracks and all that sort of thing, which is why we originally wanted to buy this particular boat. And we're hopefully going to get that opportunity once we get the work done. So anyway, take care out there, and looking forward to seeing you all again, hopefully with some more footage on how we're going from this point on. And yes, more interesting stuff. So we'll see you next time.